Hello and welcome back to the Emberclaw Clan of New Reach and of course to RimWorld. Where we last left off, Buns got burnt to a crisp because we had a drop pod raid come into their bedroom, and I was thinking about this a little bit. It doesn't really make sense to move all of this stuff in here when I could just move Catrion and Lily up here instead and get that working that way. I feel like that makes a lot more sense, and then we can throw Medic and Dragon the Second in here. That way we don't have to move all of this stuff. I probably also don't need to rebuild that passive cooler because we are about to get air conditioning. This room can still be rebuilt though, and that'll be okay. Another thing that I do need to mention is this situation up here where the crossbow bolts are stacking up to 600 times. I did go ahead and add a brand new mod. It's called Storage Item Limiter. For those curious, I put it second last in my load order and it seems to be working just fine. But what that allows me to do is go in here, search for my crossbow bolts, and then I can go ahead and middle mouse click on that and set a limit. So I only want 100 in there at a time, and that should be good to go. I just need to go ahead and drop the rest. So 497, that'll leave 100 in there. These can now be hauled to wherever they need to be, and that should be okay. We also have our hospital full of all of our guests. They're going to be here for a little bit longer, but that should be okay as well. We do have 2 prisoners on the go at the moment. They are both going to be recruited for our mining camp. I did have a little bit of a look at these guys, and honestly, this is the only one that I would slightly consider just because they do have construction. They have a little bit of social skill as well, but I don't think they're going to be worth it in the long run. So I'm going to leave them to be finished off, and I think that'll be okay. We currently have air conditioning being researched, but I did play ahead a little bit just to get a feel for what I was dealing with. I ended up building myself muskets, and honestly, they're slower than the crossbows and they're not even that much better. So I think once we get air conditioning finished, I'm going to go straight to microelectronics and work towards advanced ammunition. I think that's going to be a better bet, just so that we can get some more advanced guns so that we can deal with these raids a little bit easier. I think that is going to be the main priority. I do need to get power set up today, but before we get to that, I would like them to finish rebuilding all of these traps. So I'll let them do that before I go ahead and assign any of the electrical work. Otherwise, everything is going okay. The only other thing that I did want to mention is Nanan is currently only at growth level 2, and he is 5 and 43 days old. I believe he's been going out in the rain and aging up faster than he should, and therefore we're going to get a less quality pawn because of it. So with that in mind, I am going to go into my zones here. I'm going to manage areas, create a new area and call this roofed, and I will expand this to basically include anything that is roofed, I should say. Seems to make sense to me. And that way we can go ahead and assign that to our children so that they don't grow up too fast and end up with not all of the best traits that we can possibly give to them. So that is going to be the roofed area. We'll jump into our schedule here, look for Nanan and say you are going to be in the roofed area only, please. I also do need to go ahead and change Nanan to be a ranged apparel policy, just so that they don't get access to absolutely everything from the default one, and that should be okay and good to go, I believe. We do have an animal linking ceremony ready. I will go ahead and use that once we've dealt with all of the things in here. I am also waiting for Medic to charge up their psi focus so that we can go ahead and use regrow limbs on Buns, because currently they don't have a right shoulder, a left arm, a left leg, or a right leg. And, you know, I would like them to have at least some of those things, because they're not going to be able to move without legs. So that is what it is. I'm going to let this run for a little bit. We'll get these traps rebuilt. We'll build up Medic psi focus, and we will go from there. All right, before we finish this research, I am going to go ahead and pause it just because our traps are not set up. I don't know if it's been 4 days since we finished a research. I'm going to be a little bit more careful about that. Make sure our base is fully set up before we finish any research, just in case that does happen. Oh, one other thing that just reminded me of, a bunch of our jerky just finished and we have far too much of it. We currently have 4,338 jerky. That is too much. So I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct a bunch of these meat drying racks, all of the ones at the bottom, and then I will reconfigure the storage in here so that we can store more jerky, but also so we're not producing quite so much. I think that's going to be a good thing overall. All right, Medic is currently up to 76.7% Psi focus. That means we should be able to go ahead and draft them. They're currently over here. They're breastfeeding buns at the moment, which is actually perfect because that means we can draft them and then immediately go ahead and say regrow limbs on baby buns. If I can find them right about there, they should go ahead and cast that, and then we can undraft. They should go ahead and rescue buns. They are now in a psychic regeneration coma. Hopefully all of these things start to, get better. Medic is going to go ahead and probably continue to breastfeed, but that's going to be absolutely fine. Once they've finished that, I might even go ahead and take Medic and give a quick reach health to baby buns. I don't know if it's going to help all that much, but, it's probably worth doing just in case. So it looks like they're almost finished with the breastfeeding. Wait for them to go ahead and put buns back wherever they're going, back to their bedroom. Absolutely fine. And then we can say, go ahead and please use preach health on baby buns. Buns must be of the same ideology as Medic. Okay, that makes sense. So I can't do that. I could potentially go ahead and give them a word of healing, but again, we're going to need more psi focus to do that. So for right now, we're just going to let buns go ahead and regenerate all of their things. It doesn't look like we're going to get all of them at once. Their right shoulder, left arm, and left leg will probably take another round of healing, but that should be okay. It also looks like all of our traps are now complete, and this door is finished as well, so we shouldn't have any holes in our walls. That means we can go ahead and continue on with our research for the moment. Alright, we still ended up getting a raid either way, but that is fine. We're going to move straight on to microelectronics. That should be good. We have the raid. It looks like they're going to prepare for a while and then attack. We can wait for that. It looks like there are quite a few of them. If we go ahead and have a look at our enemies here, we have 14. They do have guns, which is a little bit scary, but I'm hoping that we can go ahead and deal with that up here. At some point, I would like to extend this out and add a few more traps, but for right now, I think we should, in theory, be able to hold the line, especially now that we have both of our turrets up and running. Potentially, it would be worth adding some more of them, but for right now, I think it's going to be okay. So I'll let this run for a little bit, wait until they say they're attacking, and then we will go from there. All right, they are beginning their assault. We can go ahead and draft absolutely everybody who is able to fight. Draft them all up. I'm going to stage them back a little bit just so that I can figure them out once they get here. And we should be okay. They're going to take a little while to come in, so we don't have too much of a rush to get this all set up. Let everyone join the line any second now. Perfect. And then we'll grab our 3 melee pawns. We'll throw them right in the middle. We will grab Dragon, tell him to man that one. Medic can go ahead and man this one. And then the rest of our ranged people can go ahead and jump right in there. I don't know why ULE decided not to go in the space, but that should be good. And we should be ready to go ahead and start this raid. Now, we do not have combat command available at the moment, so we are just going to be using our psi focuses. I'm going to say don't continuously cast Chain Bolt, although it might be a good idea. Well, no, I'm going to save it till we really, really need it. And I think that will be better. Hopefully at least one of these groups gets scared off by all the traps. There we go. And the others should come in. There are still 3 traps left, so hopefully we can take a couple of them down. And then I will say go to slow, half-time speed as soon as something bad happens. And our first one is now coming in. It looks like we don't have that many to deal with, maybe 4, and they're a little bit spread out, so we should be okay. They will probably stop right about there, though, as our first shots come out. I will go ahead and do a quick flame ball right there. And a quick thunderbolt as well, just to get everyone stopped moving. That knocked both of them down, and the rest are fleeing. Perfect. Nice, easy raid to start off the episode. That is exactly what I like to see. And of course, we need to check whether or not we want to recruit any of these guys. Another construction pawn would be good for me. I wouldn't say no to that. I don't like you. Undergrounded night owl, probably not. No real skills. You have some crafting skill that could be helpful. You are unwaveringly loyal though, so that's probably not going to happen. You would be good for our mining colony. You also have fire spew, which is interesting because you're an impid. We wouldn't be using that, but it is interesting to note. You are pretty much terrible all the way around the board. You are running and you are dead. So yeah, really not a lot of great options. Did we have someone? Yeah, the mining impid. I'm tempted. I mean, they're bleeding out in 6 hours. We can probably definitely go ahead and rescue them. Let's go ahead and stabilize and then we'll capture. The rest of them I will go ahead and strip, take all of their ammo. And I should probably also look at the dead people and take all of their ammo as well. So I'll get these guys all sorted out and then we'll come back from there. Lily is pregnant again. She's just pumping out the babies, but that is okay. We are okay with that. I mean, the more babies we have, the better our chances of getting some really quite strong pawns is. If we end up with too many pawns and we can't deal with them, we can always send them off to work camp, so I'm not too concerned about it. We are currently struggling our way through building all these traps back up once again. They just take so long to build. They take so long to build. If we jump into combat, it's the spike traps here. They are 38 work to build out of wood. They are 54 out of steel, and making them out of anything else basically makes them unbuildable because they take just so damn long. I think it would probably be worth storing some sort of metal up here so that we don't have to, you know, run around the entire thing to be able to make that work. And I think that is actually something that I'm interested in. So let's go ahead and build a small wooden container. Let's throw it, I guess, in here. I don't know. I don't know where this should go. Because, well, we could always throw a door on it. I guess that makes sense. Let's go ahead and let's make it a little bit bigger. So let's grab ourselves a medium container. Let's throw it there for now. Let's grab ourselves some granite walls, surround that, and then grab ourselves a door for right on there. And then this is going to be steel. And how much are these? These are 45 each. So we currently have, how many is that? 13 of them. So 13 times 45. Let me just grab my calculator out for a second. 13 times 45. That's 585. So I would like you to please go for important here. This is going to be steel. And I would like you to store, I don't know, let's say 500 for now. I think that'll be okay. And that way we don't have to run back and forth when we're trying to reconstruct all of these traps. And it should hopefully be a little bit quicker. We've got a bulk goods trader coming in. I'm just getting rid of a whole bunch of my junk. And also going ahead and buying a bunch of wood from them. Other than that, we aren't really buying much. We're also buying this bell pepper plant seed bundle. I am giving them 500 or so jerky, but I think I will actually cancel that because they clearly don't have the money. We are still giving them way more than they can afford. That'll just increase our trade reputation with them. And I am more than happy to clean out my storage just a little bit. That'll raise our reputation from 7 to 12. That is going to be good. Our traps are almost complete, and then they should get started working on that little storage shed for our steel. Now, at this point, I think it's probably around about time we go ahead and set up some electrical stuff. So in terms of when we're getting this free stuff, these guys are leaving in around 6 days. So I think by the time we get all this set up, we should basically have that power ready to go. I am going to go ahead and start off by throwing down a battery there, and then I'm going to put the free power there. This is all underground, like under a roof, so I think it'll be okay there. If we need to, we can always put a wall around it at some point later on, but for right now, I think that'll be okay. And then I'm just going to run hidden conduit between these buildings. That way we can get power to everything we need without it affecting our beauty scores and all of that sort of stuff. So that should be good. Throw another one in there, and yeah, that should be fine. And then we'll just go ahead and run power conduits around all of these buildings. I, of course, missed one over here, but I'll get this set up and we'll come back in a little bit. The other thing that I am considering is we don't really need these animal linking ceremonies all that much anymore. So it might be in our best interest to actually go ahead and build another shrine somewhere closer in our base. Now, I believe, I don't know 100%, but I believe as long as we don't have anything man-made in that inner green circle, I think we're okay. I think that outer green circle can have stuff in it. It'll just be a little bit less effective. I think that's how it works. Either way, I'm going to throw... Well, should we do the large one? The large one is prettier. Let's go ahead and do the large one right about there. That's going to cost us 300 wood, but in terms of manpower, we're going to have so much more by them being able to, you know, meditate over here rather than having to go all the way across that bridge. And I think that'll be a good thing. And then we can go ahead and throw down some meditation spots around this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, what is that? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That seems wrong. There, maybe? Hold on. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And we'll just leave those there for now. They should get that built. And once that's built, we can go ahead and take the meditation spots away over here. I am going to leave them for the moment because I do want to be able to do another regrow limbs on buns. Do we actually have enough psi focus to do that right now? No. We need 67.9. We currently have 65.4. So we are very close, but we don't quite have the resources to do that just yet. A little bit more meditation from Medic and we will be able to do that, however. Alright, apparently Ueli is ravenously hungry. I believe that is because I set him to prioritize doing this. And, well, you know, things happened. So we can either... Well, what are they going to do? Smash up random furniture, items, and structures? I'm okay with that. They should be able to do that for just a little bit and then they'll get back to work. But yeah, that was definitely my bad. This does almost have all of the wood already in it, so it should be okay. We could potentially go ahead and even prioritize Catrion on getting that done, just so that that's a little bit quicker. And as I say that, Buns has officially grown up to the biological age of 3. They're now allowed to do some things. They are, of course, going to remain native. We are going to go ahead and set them to the ranged thing and the child thing, and then go ahead and set their schedule to be the exact same as Nanan. Full recreation across the board. They will only be allowed in the roofed zone. They currently don't have a left arm or a right shoulder, but they're not too bad. Yeah, they don't have any manipulation whatsoever. And then we will go ahead and also assign Buns here the same work schedule as Nanan, which is basically don't do anything. You can haul and clean as a last resort if you really need to, but otherwise you won't do anything, and that should be okay. Their learning factor is going to start off at 50%, but that should go up. Nanan potentially will get to growth tier 4. I'm hoping that we can do a little bit better with Buns. That would be nice to see, but we'll see how that goes. I'm going to let them continue on for a little bit, and we'll come back once we are ready to do something else. Alright, so our nature shrine is officially complete. Focus effect is impacted by all of the things, you know, outside of this small green area. I think that's going to be okay. I think it's going to mean we get more in the long run, so I'm going to remove all of those meditation spots. This currently has 31 anima grass, and we should probably go ahead and use it up just so that this isn't here anymore. In terms of who I want that to be, I might just go ahead and continue working on Lily here. Keep going up this tree, and I think that'll be okay. She's about to upgrade anyway, but it is what it is. So I'll begin the linking ritual there, and I will say I don't want Dragon, Anders, or... who else don't I want? Emily can probably come out of that, and that should be okay. We'll get 100% from that. It'll only take 2 hours, and that should be good to go. And then everyone can meditate over here, where it's going to be a lot quicker to get done, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. All right, that is very unfortunate. These guys want to breach our walls. They are attacking immediately, and this is so close to being done. How much longer is this? Ends in 0.08 hours. That is too long. I'm sorry. That is too long. We are going to have to draft everybody and just cancel that. So I'm going to get them set up over here for the moment. In terms of weapons on these guys, not too bad by the looks of it. If we have a look at our enemies here, nothing ranged, which is very good for us. So if you guys could all please be drafted, leave animatory linking, draft, select everyone again, and throw them down in a row over here. That should be okay. Nothing ranged, so that is good for us. We might even be better off sending them down like over here. Actually, that's a better idea because they have nothing ranged. We can use the water to our advantage. And Lily, oh, can you really not leave? That still ends in 0.5 hours. I can cancel that. Is it worth doing though? This is going to be very close. Come on, finish, finish, finish. 0.3, no, we have to cancel. Yes, cancel it, draft, and come over here, like immediately. And hopefully you are not slow, because if you are, you might die. Let's go normal speed for the moment. Let's grab Puma and set up a ball lightning over here. That might slow them down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't hit Lily. No, I think we're okay. And then Puma can come back. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what we want. That ball lightning is actually really fantastic. I'm glad that I picked that up. All right, so that's good. Our melee pawns I would like standing in the middle. Dragon can move off to the side a little bit. All of these guys, except for our melee pawns, can come down here just a little bit more so that we're not shooting into each other. And that should be okay as soon as everyone gets rearranged here. I'll just double check in a second. Lily can come down a little bit. Puma, you can go ahead and do another ball lightning. Let's do it to about there. Anders, no, you're not my other one. Who's my other one? I can't remember. I think it doesn't matter. We should be able to take these guys out with very little problems. That ball lightning is fantastic. Ruben is standing a little bit in the firing line. Anders can come out a little bit. Miranda can come out a little bit. These guys can basically just come down to here, and I think that'll be better. We are getting some nice shots off. Let's go ahead and select all three of these guys. Throw out an explosion right to there. And throw out a thunderbolt right there. Perfect. Hopefully that doesn't count as decimating trees. Let's go ahead and get another explosion going in there. They are now fleeing. We didn't take a single point of damage. Absolutely fantastic. We will have to worry about this fire a little bit, but that is okay. All right, you have mining, so that's probably someone we're going to recruit. You have mining, lots of mining. And in terms of the others, we'll just have a quick look through here. Probably not. Plants, we could send you to our woodcutting plant. Yeah, but that's probably about it. I'm going to allow all. Why can't I grab this? Allow, please. All right, so who do we want to take? I think I want to take Colin. He's going to be mining. I'm going to take Macy, and I'm going to take Erdy. And that should be about it. 5 hours, and 9 conditions. Absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and set everyone to be stripped first before I undraft. That way they can, you know, go ahead and do things. I will send, who are my doctors again? Please, Medic, Anders, and Emily. So Medic can go ahead and stabilize them. I don't know why I wouldn't use the stabilize ability. Actually, I do know why I wouldn't use the stabilize ability. That is because I want to use regrow limbs on Buns again, so that'll be fine. Medic is first, Anders the second is going to take Macy. We'll go ahead and stabilize. And then Emily, if I can find them on this list, is going to stabilize none of them. Stabilize, what was their name? Erdi Pranjdeva. Okay. Stabilize. Why can't I stabilize? I can tend, but oh, they're already stable. That's why. So we are just going to capture them, and that'll be okay. And then, did everyone not get undrafted? I guess not. You guys can all be undrafted, and that should be okay, I believe. Alright, so Macy, Colin, and this one are the ones we want. Medic, I think, has finished with Colin. Colin is, yep, no longer bleeding out. We'll go ahead and capture them. Anders is firing still, so let's go ahead and undraft and capture Macy. And Emily should go ahead and grab the other one. Perfect. Alright, fantastic raid. You were also down, but I didn't see you before. You're unwaveringly loyal, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Ueli, are you drafted? No one's drafted, right? Buns is apparently drafted for some reason. I don't know why. But that should be good. I believe that should be good. Let's go down into our prison and double check that everyone is being looked after. Looks like Emily might still be drafted here, which is unfortunate. And they will go ahead and tend to them. Go ahead and haul the steel halberds. What were they called? Yeah, steel halberds. Get them out of there. Everyone is being tended. We'll go ahead and set them to all be recruited as soon as possible, and that will be fantastic. Once they're done in there, I will go ahead and get Medic to do another regrow limbs on Baby Buns, who is no longer a baby. That is going to put them in a coma for a little while, which will affect this, but hopefully it's still better than the other one. I hope. Medic is now resting. Let's go ahead and draft you real quick. I'll go ahead and grab a regrow limbs, and I'll find Buns. I don't know why this UI sucks sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. And then Medic should go ahead and do that, and then Medic can be undrafted and rescue Buns. Perfect. Done and done. And now in terms of their health, we are currently regenerating their right arm. The left arm is still burned off, so we might still need to do one more regrow limbs on them to get that all working, but that is okay. Perfect. These guys should all be set to be stripped, and once they're stripped, we'll go ahead and finish them off as well. Perfect. All right, we'll continue on for a little bit longer. And look at this. We are finally getting somewhere. Trees have only been harmed in the last quadrum. We haven't destroyed a whole forest. So this is working. Our logging camp must be doing okay. That is good to see. We did have to cut down 1 or 2 trees to get this planted, but it is what it is. At least we aren't cutting down all of our maple trees anymore, which is good. I still don't know why we didn't have them set to be, you know, cut down, but it is what it is. Roja has also been recruited. They are going to go off to our mining camp. So we'll go into the world map, select our mining camp, send the caravan, and we will take Rocha, send them off on their way with whatever they want to take. And that will be absolutely fantastic. All right, our dutiful mark is being disrespected because this room is filthy. Now, in order to fix that, I'm just going to go ahead and right shift click on this and say clean temple. Ruben will get on that in just a little bit here. It is what it is. We don't have enough cleaning pawns at the moment to keep everything nice and tidy. I will probably do the exact same thing with this room. Miranda, you are feeding fine baked buns. You are, yeah, you can probably do it. Go ahead and clean Buns' bedroom, please. Because someone is actually sleeping in here now. This is now for Buns. We want to make sure it's nice and clean and not filled with a ton of debris. I noticed this before, but I completely forgot about it. We actually have a poplar tree right in the middle of our combat zone. That is not what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and send Kiesel over there, if I can find them. There they are. To go ahead and do that. They're currently sowing, but that'll be fine. We'll send them over here to extract this tree, and then we'll replant it probably down here where all of our nature stuff is. Keep it nice and close so that our people have, you know, great forests around them. And that should be good to go. So that'll be extracted, and then I can go ahead and replant this somewhere over here. Probably there. That should be fine. I don't think that's on anything particularly important. That is currently just ivy. That's fine. And then I can take Kiesel here and say, go ahead and prioritize doing that, because if you leave it too long, that plant will die, and then that counts as cutting it down. Rocha has also arrived, so we'll go ahead and add them to the mining site. They are now going to give us 768 steel in 6 days, so that is slowly but surely going up, and hopefully will keep up enough to, you know, replenish our steel supplies as we build all of this electrical stuff. Alright, well that's not good. Giant insects are tunneling towards you. They will break through in a few seconds and plant hives. These hives will spawn more insects and more hives. If you don't want the insects to infest the whole area, destroy the hives. But beware, the bugs will defend their home. It looks like they are coming in through here, and I'm going to drop a quick autosave just in case. Save scum. Oop. Save scum. Just in case this doesn't work out. And we will try and deal with these insects. So I'm going to draft absolutely everybody. I'm going to rally behind my walls because I really would like this to not get out of hand. Thankfully, we do have some fire psychosts and some other things that I think will help us out. They are slowly coming out, but there they are. It looks like if we jump into numbers, are they considered enemies? Yes, they are. So we have 3 mega spiders, which are scary. And then 3 Bellipedes and 2 mega scarabs. I'm hoping that we can maybe draw them out and do combat smart and, you know, burn them alive. It's going to be risky business, that is for sure. So let's go ahead and get these guys all down here. To start with, I'm going to put them there. I'm going to say do not fire at will because I don't want to draw them over. And then, yeah. Let's move up a little bit. So in terms of who I want moving up, and do we need to move up? Yes, we do a little bit. So I'm going to grab my melee pawns. They're going to move up to probably around, well, let's go a little bit further in. Let's go to there, spread them out a little bit. And then I'll grab all of my ranged pawns and they can come down here. That's probably a bad idea. Actually, let's bring them in behind like so and see what that looks like, and then we'll go from there. So they're going to come in, everyone should get arranged. Our melee pawns are a little bit up, so let's go ahead and instead go for something like that and something like that. And that'll be, I think, a decent fighting formation against these guys, I hope. Dragon can probably come down a little bit more. And then we just sort of hope and pray that this works out. Do we have a combat command available to us? Yes, we do. Not everyone is in it. Is that Lily who has the combat command? Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and throw Lily right next to Anders. That'll give a better range for our combat command. I think that's going to be a good thing. And then I can select all of my ranged pawns, say fire at will. I'll grab Ruben here. We are going to do a quick explosion. I still might not be close enough. Okay, let's reselect all of our these guys. Unfire at will. Ruben here is going to move up a little bit more. Just enough to be able to get that explosion in there. Just a little bit more without getting too close. And then we can set the explosion to go off right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and breathe flame as well. Set this area on fire a little bit. And then Ruben can come back a little bit. And we can go ahead and select all of our range pawns and say, please fire at will. Use aim shots if you can. This one is coming down here, so we'll go ahead and set all of these guys to shoot at them. Puma should probably come up as well, just to be able to actually take this guy out. We have a Thoraxodon down here. Someone does have, if I select all of my guys, someone does have Animal War Call. I'm going to go ahead and use that. This guy is slowly but surely going down. I'm going to set this to slow half speed. Where are they? Okay, not doing too bad so far. Ruben is pretty much at his heat threshold. We could turn this off and get another explosion or something in, potentially even a self-explosion. High chance of igniting those in the blast site, but does little damage without harming the caster. So we probably don't want to do that. We probably just want to use the explosion again. I'm going to move Ruben back up a little bit. And these guys can just stay where they are for now, I think. This guy is going to be our main problem for right now. Hopefully Puma can get up there. I might even move Emily back a little bit so that they can run away. Hopefully this guy, you know, gets some stuff happening. Stefanton has officially drafted them. Warcall Berserk. We are going to attack here. Ruben is going to use another explosion on... Oh, they're all spread out now. If we zoom out, we could potentially go for an explosion up here. That'll at least set the area on fire. And potentially do some decent damage there. And then Ruben can go ahead and attack them. Anders is going to have to come up towards here. You are slowly but surely getting whittled down. Let's go ahead and get everyone here to shoot at them. This one is... Well, let's get Anders... No, Anders needs to go up here to deal with that, I think. And then Puma is still working on this guy. They are slowly but surely going down. I think I'm going to leave Puma to do that by himself. Move the rest of these guys up a little bit. Well, we have this one here. So yeah, let's move them into a line there. And get them all to shoot at this guy. In a second. Perfect, shoot there. Lily, you can move up a little. You are still working on them. I really hope we don't lose too many people here. Dragon is not supposed to be attacking them. Let's get Dragon to pull back a little bit if we can. Anders can pull their aggro. These guys can all come in nice and close to get good shots on them. Alright. Ruben can still do a little bit more. What happens if this goes over? Surpassing the normal limit may cause a psychic breakdown lasting days. Okay. Is that worth it? Probably not. I'm going to turn that back on so I don't accidentally cast things with them. And then if we grab Puma down here, we might be able to do... What does Vortex do? Manifests a gaping vortex of high voltage electricity redirected via skipgate from a nebula storm at a target area with a large effect. Severely hampers movement and manipulation, proportionally with a stronger effect at the center. Okay. It's not bad. Yeah, let's do it. And let's set it to be like there. This guy is down. So Puma is now going to go ahead and start attacking. Well, actually, Puma doesn't need to attack them because we have our Thoraxodon working on them. They have 4 conditions at the moment. We may as well get Puma to start working on that as well. I think that'll overall be a good idea. Anders the second has fallen. Where are you? Anders is there with no head. Perfect. You are still attacking Anders. You'll probably change targets in a second here, but, you know, that is what it is. Not going great. Ruben, what are you working on? Is this guy down? No. This guy is still not down. You're taking some decent damage. Oh, maybe it is down. Yeah, because we can finish that off. Okay, so that one must be down. I will get Ruben then to come up here and help with this guy. before he does anything else too dangerous. You are just moving. That's fine. This guy is now going for Dragon, which I don't love. Let's get Dragon to move back a little bit. Dragon was knocked down. Ruben is coming in, but it's not looking fantastic. Mega Spider here is still got so much armor. Lily, are you shooting at this one? I hope you are. Puma is taking some pretty decent damage here. Bleeding out in 4 hours. I'm going to grab Medic if I can. Medic needs to get out of harm's way. And I would like them to cast Pain Block on Puma, if possible. I think that just happened. Medic is now re-attacking the Mega Spider. Let's move them back a little bit so that, you know, they're out of harm's way a little bit. They are knocked down and bleeding out in 3 hours. Medic, I need you to move. Medic, please move. This is not great, but honestly, it's going better than I thought it would. Dragon is now crawling away. Ruben is attacking the Mega Spider. What to do? What to do? Armor durability is currently at 79%, so this is not going great. Ruben does have fire things though. Let's go ahead and toggle this off again. And let's go ahead and do a breathe flame on the Mega Spider. Light them on fire. That seems to be one of the best plays. Puma is still attacking. That's good. How are you looking? Are you down yet? I think you might be down. If we go here, yeah, we can now finish off, so that's good. I think the only one left standing is this one down here and this guy over here. Confused and wandering, that's fine. I don't think that one is too much of a threat. I really can't see anything in this though. Dragon is bleeding out in 7 hours. You're okay. Medic is bleeding out in 3. You're bleeding out in 7. Can you not walk? I don't think you can walk. So, Medic, can you please go ahead and use... No, you can't. Okay, perfect. We need to get someone to heal Medic is what we need to do. So, let's jump into work, see who our doctors are. Medic, Emily, and Catrion. So, Catrion, go ahead and... I can't stabilize Medic for some reason, but we can tend. Let's go ahead and tend to Medic there. Ruben... You can start working your way down here. Ilarius and Miranda can come down here as well to hopefully help take out this other Mega Spider, which is not down, but is getting closer. Puma is bleeding out in 4 hours. That's not terrible. Medic is being treated. 3 hours to go there. That should be okay. We need to keep an eye on this. We're getting some decent shots in. But Puma is taking some damage. Ilarius and Miranda are coming in for backup, and that is now down. Perfect. Let's go ahead and finish off that Mega Spider. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get... Can Lily finish this one off? Finish off that one. And Catrion, after they've done that, can finish off the other one, and then we'll go after this one. As well as the hives, which I think have already been destroyed or are very close to being destroyed because they're all on fire. So that's fantastic. All right. This one just needs to be dealt with. Let's go ahead and get all of you to come down here and start working on that one. Puma is still attacking the Mega Spider, but that should be okay. Does Ruben have any medical skill? No. Does anyone here have any medical skill? Miranda has a little bit. Let's go ahead and tend to Puma with Miranda. That should be good. Alright. Medic is now bleeding out in 15 hours, which is a lot better. I will go ahead and... Once Medic is stabilized, I'll go ahead and stabilize Dragon using Medic. Alright. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to start taking pot shots at this guy, which should be a little bit easier to deal with. Especially considering they're not attacking us. Let's get these guys all to move up a little bit more. Oh, that was stressful. We did lose Anders, which is very unfortunate, especially considering they were our main crafter, but, you know, we're doing okay. Let's go ahead and set this back to normal for a second. These guys should all start taking pot shots again. Perfect. Let's get this guy down. Medical emergency is on Emily. Emily is bleeding out in 2 hours. Oh no, I didn't see that. Who has some medical stuff here? No one. Emily, you can go ahead and self-tend. And tend to yourself. This guy is still up. Get these guys and rearrange them a little bit. I just want to get rid of these bugs. I do not want these bugs around. How is Medic doing up here? Medic is fine, and who needed help? Was it Catrion? No. Where is Dragon? Sorry? Green Tiger? Eldest caretaker of Emberclaw Clan. Who are you? Who are you? Oh, you're one of the... Howie, do you not have paralytic abrasion anymore? Okay. What are you doing with them? Can you... You are rescuing. Okay, that is probably not the best idea. Please stop doing that. I'll grab Medic here and I will say go ahead and stabilize. You are now hauling things. Okay, sure. Do what you've got to do, I guess. This spider is slowly but surely getting down. Alright. Emily is bleeding out in 2 hours. I completely forgot about that. Miranda, I believe, has some medical still. Oh, they went down. Okay. Miranda, you go ahead and please stabilize Emily. Alright, I think we're going to be okay. You are still just confused. Perfect, now you're dead. Let's go ahead and undraft everyone now. These hives are officially gone, which is fantastic. Bustro has inspiration. We don't care about that. We do need to give an Ashen farewell to Anders. But otherwise we're doing okay. Wait, are you alive? You are, but you're down. So let's go ahead and finish you off. And then I'll get Lily to go ahead and finish off that one just to, you know, cover our bases in case they decide to come back to life. And then we need to check on who needs healing and who is about to die. So Dragon is fine. Medic is fine. Emily is still bleeding out in an hour. Miranda should be going ahead and stabilizing you. Emily is bleeding out in an hour. That's the one we just looked at. Ruben is fine. Anders is dead. You're fine. Okay, so as long as we can stabilize here, we should be okay. Everyone should be able to get back to the hospital beds and, you know, do some good things. Alright, you're still bleeding out in 2 hours, so I'm going to say, Miranda, please stop doing that. Draft you, and... can I not tend? No. Okay, so pick up that herbal medicine. And then please stabilize. I can't. Okay. Let's just tend then. Bleeding out in an hour. Okay. They're okay. And then Emily can be undrafted and we should be okay. Scary. Okay. You're going to rescue them and everyone should come back and, you know, heal up. Alright, I think we are okay. That was rough. That was really rough. But we finally dealt with some insects. I'm glad that I attacked them straight away rather than letting them build up. Yeah, that was absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. We do need to go ahead and set up a grave for Anders. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think I'm going to set up grave wall like along here, and that'll be okay. Let's go ahead and set that one up first. They should build that, and then we can go ahead and assign it to our old friend Anders. Wow. Okay. Was Anders doing anything else? Can I click on Anders, please? Anders is probably still down here, right? They might not be, actually. Can I search for Anders? Where is Anders? Anders is on our meat rack. Perfect. That is exactly not where I wanted them, but at least they won't rot. Let me just quickly double check that butchering creatures does not include humans. Perfect. So Anders, where are you? There you are. Let's go ahead and have a look at your bio. You are cooking, crafting, and medical. Unfortunate loss. Unfortunate loss. So we need to figure out who is going to be our new crafter. And the answer to that question is probably Puma. They are already assigned to it as pretty high priority. Let's go ahead and remove their haul and clean priorities a little bit so that they actually get that done. And yeah, that is what it is. Stefanton can also do it, but they are primarily doing our handling and plant cutting. So Puma is going to be our new crafter. Anders is gone. Wow. Alright, I'm going to let them build this, tend to all their wounds, and we'll come back in a little bit. And in the early hours of the morning, I believe it is only fitting that we begin our Ashen farewell for Anders II. Now, green can just go away because they're not really part of our clan. I honestly don't know why they were up and walking. And yeah, we will start this. The Ashen farewell will begin. Everyone grab your Emberclaw Clan glass and raise it for Anders II. He worked in silence, shaping the bones of the clan. Anders II was our crafter. First to the bench, last to rest. His hands carved precision from chaos. Every blade we carried, every coat we wore, bore his mark. He never sought praise, only purpose. And in that purpose, he built a legacy. When the earth cracked and the insects came, he stood firm, not with a weapon, but with resolve. Now, his bench is still. His tools are cold. But his craft remains in every stitch, every edge, everything that keeps us alive. Rest now, Anders. We will carry what you made and what you were. It's a shame. It's a shame. And it was also a terrible Ashen farewell. Just because, you know, things happened. No development points were gained. We have a quest that we're probably just going to ignore, and we can move on with our day. How long is it until these guys actually leave? These guys leave in 1.6 days. We'll shortly have some electricity to go around. Damn, that's a shame. Was Anders wasn't with anyone, right? No. Everyone has a bed. Why are all these beds full? Oh, it's because Green took a room. Okay. So this must have been Anders' room. And yeah. Thankfully, they didn't have a spouse. We are still going to get a negative mood debuff from that. Witnessed ally's death. Friend is dead. But at least we don't have another medic situation on our hands where someone's husband has died. So that is good. That is a good thing. I'm going to let them carry on for a little bit longer and we'll come back in a little bit. I should also mention we are running out of steel again. I don't think there's a ton left on the map. There might be a little bit down here that we can go ahead and mine, but it's not much, and it's probably not going to be worth our time. I had a feeling that we had some in here as well, but I might have been mistaken. We can probably do a quick search for that though. If we have a look at compacted steel, there's a bunch down here. There is a little bit up here. This is what I was thinking of. Let's go ahead and mine all of this just to get a little bit of a head start on all of that. And then I am also going to set an order to go ahead and mine all of this, just in case we find some iron, some steel along the way. And I think that will be a good thing. I will also go ahead and build this out just so that it's square, because I like things to be nice and square. And we will go from there. We're also running low on food, and I believe that's just because everyone is a little bit busy. I will go ahead and get Lily to go ahead and, cook some. But in the meantime, we can probably go ahead and manage our food policies. Say, default, you guys can eat jerky for a little bit because we have so much of it. And that will keep at least everyone not starving, which is, probably a good thing. Alright, Buns is on a learning frenzy, which is actually fantastic. Their learning is currently at 100%. They should get a whole bunch of stuff really quite quickly because of that. They are currently reading a book, which is increasing their intellect as well as their shooting, because it is a shooting book. We also got a new recruit, which is going to head off to our mines. So we'll go ahead and set that up before I forget. Send the caravan, accept. And that is going to be that person's name, which I can definitely not pronounce. Get them out of here, and that should be good. This mining is going along quite nicely. We haven't found any steel yet, but there is still a chance. So we'll let them continue on. And there it is. We found a little bit of compacted steel. I don't know how big the vein's going to be, but it will definitely help out with our power lines and all of the light. We also have this working beautifully. If we have a look here, Sci-Focus gain rate is currently 50% a day, which is more than enough for us at the moment, and that should be great. Alright, the shuttle is also here, so we can go ahead and auto-load that. They should go ahead and send all of our people into there. They'll get out of here, and then we can go ahead and install our free power, which is the very reason I accepted that quest. I don't think I would have accepted it for like almost anything else. Alright, shuttle is full. We can go ahead and send that. Quest is complete. Pods are arriving. They will come in right about there. We'll go ahead and gather up all of that plasteel. Some of those motorized components, and our large vanometric power cell will be installed right about there. We will, of course, need to go ahead and connect that to power, which we currently don't have any steel for, but, at least we have some form of power ready to go once we get a little bit more steel in our inventory. LaCroix might also have been finished, so let's go ahead and add them. Let's go ahead and see. We are getting 896 steel in 2 days and 16 hours. That is going to be fantastic. That'll allow us to get all of this work done, I believe. We also have a war merchant visiting us. I don't know if we're going to buy much, probably nothing at all, having a quick little brief look at that, but we will sell some of our junk, so I'll come back in a little bit. I just realized this is a little bit stupid. Currently they're walking all the way around here to get down to here, and that just seems rather inefficient. So let me go ahead and install a door in there. I'm going to make sure that is prioritized so that we don't have to, wander all the way around here just to get the steel that we are currently mining, because that seems like a bad idea. But our power lines are going in slowly but surely. Everything is progressing nicely, and we'll come back in a little bit. Alright, with all of that construction complete, we officially have 2400 watts of power coming in. We have a battery that can store 1400 WD? Watt days, I guess. I guess that's what that stands for. And we have power cables running throughout our base. That is fantastic. That is going to lessen the load so much on the amount of wood that we need to use to sustain our base. But that is going to have to wait until next episode, because I've been recording for too long now and we had a lot happen. If you guys are enjoying the series, make sure to go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below for the sake of engagement. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you would like your name in the game, go ahead and join as a Golden Panda member or above. But until next time, happy building, happy surviving. Bye, guys.